that I am cold, but to you bring the warmest of winds, for you have been true blue Cub Scouts and Weeble Scouts, and have always looked the law of the pack.
I am the South Wind. I wish you good scouting. Over hill and dale, I have carried stories of you and your scouting experience. You have been happy, game, fair, and a tribute to your den and pack.
I am the West Wind. I wish you well. I spread your story of fun and happiness throughout Cub Scouting, and how you have lived up to the Cub Scout promise, and how you are fair and helpful.
I am the East Wind. I would like everyone present to know that these Weeblo Scouts did not walk the Cub Scout trail alone. Each had the wonderful help of their parents. Parents! Continue to help your boys to prosper and grow.
Chief Aquila, there are some among us worthy of the highest award in Cub Scouting, the Arrow of Light.
My brothers, seek out those worthy of this award and bring them before our council fire.
It shall be done, Chief Aquila.
Weeble Scouts, listen to the story of the arrow. Once, long ago, when all the animals were equal, there was great unrest. The bear quarreled with the eagle. The buffalo argued with the Indian. Finally, the wise old grandmother called all the animals to her teepee and said, "You have argued for far too long. I'll ask you one question. You have a year's time to answer this question, and I will reward you upon the merit of your answer." The animals became excited, for not only was the old grandmother wise, yet she was also generous with her gifts. Was she not the one who gave the grass of the plains and the fruit of the trees?
What is the question, grandmother? They asked. And she said, "What is your most important duty?" And with that, they left. The eagle returned to the high mountain, the buffalo, the grassy plains, the bear to the deep forest, and the Indian to his campfire. They all thought long and hard about their answers. 13 moons later, they returned to the grandmother's teepee. The grandmother spoke first to Eagle, saying, "Eagle, what is your most important duty?" The eagle replied, "My most important duty is to fly higher than anyone else." And grandmother responded, "For that answer, I will give you these feathers, which will allow you to fly higher than anyone else." And the eagle was pleased with his gift.
Next, the grandmother spoke to the buffalo. "Buffalo, what is your most important duty?" And the buffalo replied, "Grandmother, my most important duty is to run farther than anyone else." And the grandmother replied, "For that answer, I shall give you thick hooves." And the buffalo replied, was also pleased with his gift. Likewise, the grandmother spoke to the bear. "Bear, what is your most important duty?" And the bear replied, "Grandmother, my most important duty is to be the stronger than anyone else." And the grandmother said, "For that answer, I shall give you sharp claws, to allow you to be the strongest in the forest." And the bear was also pleased with his gift.
Finally, the Indian arose and said, "Grandmother, my most important duty is to help others." For that answer she said, "I'll give you the stick." When the Indian saw the stick, he was disappointed, for he had thought long and hard about his most important duty. "Grandmother," he said, "why do you give me this stick? Did my answer displease you?" "Oh no," she said, "your answer pleased me greatly. All the others thought their most important duty was to themselves, but you have learned your most important duty is to others." But grandmother, he said, "What can I do with this stick?" "This is more than a stick," she replied. "This is an arrow. With this arrow, you can shoot the strongest bear, the fastest buffalo, or the eagle, no matter how high he soars. For he who serves others is the greatest of all." It was then the Indian knew this was the greatest gift of all, and he was pleased.
Praise in the arrow of light. As I light each candle, you will hear how they represent the great characteristics of life.
The first virtue is wisdom. Wisdom does not mean superior knowledge. It means putting the right use to knowledge that one possesses.
The second virtue is courage. Courage does not enable a man to meet danger in spite of one's fears, but enables a man to meet danger without fear.
The third virtue is self-control. Self-control is not limited to one's temper, but control over oneself in all things, eating, playing, even working and talking.
The fourth virtue is justice. Justice is the practice of dealing fairly with others, without prejudice or regard for race, color, or creed.
The fifth virtue is faith. Faith is the conviction that something unproved by physical evidence is true.
The sixth
There
virtue.
shall be silence!
The sixth virtue is hope. Hope is to expect with confidence. Always hope for better things to come. A man without hope is of little help to himself or his community.
The seventh virtue is love. There are many kinds of love. Love of family, love of home, love of fellow man, love of God, and love of country. All these loves are necessary for a full life.
You will find that if you live by these 7 virtues, you will become a happy man, and a happy man is a successful man.
Create your programs and points to your adventures that you'll have in Boy Scouting.
Boy Scout is an activity born in nature and practiced through woodcraft. It is also led by elder brothers like those present to help younger brothers development of a caring citizen. Scouting deals with the individual, not with the group. It provides principles of mental, physical, and moral principles. I hope that you will go from here and continue learning.
We now invite the parents up as we award the Arrow of Light. Preston. Philip. Michael. Matthew. Justin. Garrison. Evan. Cameron. Bryce. Brett. Aiden. Ben. Colson. Colin. Ian. Luke. leaving. Tyler. Parents, you may be seated.
You have learned there are many paths leading from your set course. Your parents walked by your side while your din leader held your hand. They led you along the career path in scouting until you were able to choose the many among the trails. Your parents will always help you. Remember,
Having completed Cub Scouting, you are at the base of a great mountain. You see before you the path leading up the Scout Trail. You too will soon cross this bridge into the wider world of Boy Scouting, and with you will go your hopes, your dreams, and as always, your parents.
I congratulate you. You are about to become Boy Scouts. Look for us along the trail, where we also seek the eagle. But now, listen to the wisdom of the winds.
I am the East Wind. I represent the common law, your duty to God and country. Trustworthy, loyal, and helpful are the qualities a man must possess to live by the laws of this land. See to it that we do not lose this great blessing of a lawful land.
I am the West Wind. I represent the law of equity. Friendly, courteous, kind. It's a law that breathes conscience from the atmosphere that comes from within your heart. Be courteous to those of all ages who walk along your trails, willing to those of all ages, and don't live with harmful spirits of selfishness or unfriendliness.
I am the spirit of the South Wind. I represent the civil law, obedient, cheerful, thrifty. Cheerful obedience is necessary for the development of a true citizen. To be obedient is to carry out orders cheerfully and swiftly. True thrift means earning, saving, and spending wisely, and giving to those less fortunate.
I am the spirit of the North Wind. I represent the divine law, the most powerful of all. Duty is to be brave, clean, and reverent. To be brave is to be pure at heart. To be clean in body and soul. Cast away any evil that tries to weaken or destroy the divine law, and always live a life of reverence.
Bobcat, wolf,
Bear!
Weebles!
remember the common law. Trustworthy, loyal, helpful.
Remember the law of equity. Friendly, courteous, kind.
Remember the civil law, obedient, cheerful, thrifty.
Remember the divine law, the most powerful of all. Brave, clean, and reverent.